It's not gonna work. Oh God. Hello. This shit is weird. Hi. Can you guys hear me? Let's see. Hey, Obalafia. Greetings. Can you let me know if you can hear me okay, please? Nice. Hi, Dubs and Y. Greetings. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to give it a few moments for people to come online, okay? Make sure my camera don't drop. That'll be just my luck. Greetings, greetings. Thank you for joining. Thank you. I'm giving it a few moments for people to come on, okay? Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Meanwhile, I gotta keep it real with y'all. This is my bedtime. So by now I'll be nice and cozy in my bedclothes and ready to go to bed. But I said, let me make this a little later for, normal people who actually stay up, unlike myself. So I'm gonna give it to about the 2-minute mark and then I'm gonna get started, okay? I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you enjoyed your day. For those of you in the Northeast, I hope the winter is not kicking your ass too much. We at the 2-minute mark. Greetings, guys. Hey, how you doing? It's Oyabumi, aka Daydream Austin. Welcome to another episode of my Orisha journey. Greetings, everybody. Hey, thank you so much for joining me. Happy holidays to those of you who celebrate. So, I started this thing called the 16-day challenge, and the 16-day challenge is all about the Odu and using the Odu for manifestation purposes, right? So let me silence my phone before we get cut off. So the 16-day challenge is this challenge I've issued to people where I ask people, participants, to find an Odu verse that speaks to a situation that they're struggling with, a character trait that they're struggling with, just something that's been a struggle for them. And you take that Odu verse and you recite it for 16 days as part of your morning prayers. Or, if you do your prayers late in the day, that's fine. But you basically recite this during your prayers. And I chose the number 16 because in my studies of the Odu, I noticed that that's a very special number, right? It's mentioned a lot, especially in reference to Orunmila, the Oracle of Ifa. So if you've studied Odu, 16 is a very popular number. So the focus is to find this verse that speaks to a situation in your life where you're having a challenge, and then to recite that Ashe, especially with the Ikin, thank you, and to recite that for 16 days consistently, right? Because you really want to call in these changes. So I did this because not too long ago, actually a few months ago, I'm looking through a book of Odu verses, and I came across a verse that spoke to a situation that I was going through. And I have my hand of Ifa. I'm not fully initiated into Ifa yet. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take this Odu verse and recite it for 16 days in front of my Ifa. And no lie, by the end of the 16 days, what the verse was talking about manifested in my life, right? And I was just like, yo, I'm on to something, right? I have to do this. The book, right, is called Omoluabi by Chief Salagbade Papula. Awesome book. And he has a line of books that are just awesome. I think his website is ifaworks.com. You can get the ebook, if I'm not mistaken. So at the end of the 16 days, you're welcome, I saw this shift in my life and I was just like, okay, I'm on to something. And then, over time, I kind of forgot about the practice. And then I started having a hard time recently, and I was like, wait a minute. I can manifest things, right? Through the ashe of my mouth. I can manifest things through prayer. So why not do that? Right? So that became something that I wanted to share with those of you who were looking to manifest in their lives, looking to change things. I think sometimes we forget that we have the power of the word on our tongue, right? And we're not all at the same level with it, because there are some people who can speak and what they speak comes to pass almost immediately. There are other people where it takes some time and things like that. So we're all at different levels, but we all do have this ability to co-create with Olodumare, the Rumule, the Orisha, and things like that. So we're not alone, but we're also not completely at the whim of spirit and life. Like, we can co-create with them. So that's why I wanted to bring this to you. So can those of you in the chat tell me who here is participating in the 16-day challenge already? And remember, like, you can start this whenever. It can go longer than 16 days. You can start it today, start it whenever you like, and you'll be fine. I feel like it'll work for you. Who here is participating in the challenge? Anyone? Kim, I do not have a PDF file of the book I'm speaking of. Great, Ray. Thank you, Alvin. Okay, so Ray, you can start tomorrow morning. You find an Odu verse and you recite it for 16 days, and it has to speak to what you're going through. Alvin, thank you for being here. Yes, KJ, please start it. You can start this anytime. So for me, right, I'm deciding that, and this is something else, like, you can do it in front of your Ifa, in front of your Orisha if you have any. But for me, I did it in front of my Ifa before. This time, my focus is on Ori. And my focus is on Ori because as I've studied Ori, I'm like, wait a minute. Why am I overlooking my Ori when my Ori is my charm to all success in life? Ori is my greatest supporter. Ori is the one, in Ogunda Meiji, it says that Ori is the only divinity and deity that is with me every step of every day. So if that's the case, why would I skip Ori and go to Ifa? Why would I skip Ori and go to Oya? I feel like it's a no-brainer. Duh, I should be talking to my Ori. It says in the Odu that if you're lacking something in life and you want to complain about it, they like, don't go complain to other people. Complain to your Ori, because your Ori is responsible for if you have these things or not. So I've decided to do it while I'm holding, recite my verse every morning while I'm holding my Ori, and I'll be doing it for longer than 16 days. I'm going to do it until I see a change, and then probably even after that, this might become like a, regular practice. Yes, Kim, greetings. I was just saying you can start the challenge at any time, right? And you can do it longer than 16 days. So you find an Ifa verse or an Odu verse. Ray, this is for you too. You can pick one at random, but it really should be speaking to something that is like posing a challenge in your life. Like something that you want to see change. Greetings, Jose. Good to see you. Something that you want to see change in your life, right? So you can pick one at random, but for me, I wanted to pick one that spoke directly to situations I was going through, right? So I think that's important. Now, I also want you guys to know that if after 16 days you don't see anything, this is good practice for you, because as someone who's been in this tradition for, what is it, 5 years now, something I've noticed is that I can get, or before I would get really discouraged when things didn't manifest in the time that I thought they should. Right? So say the 16 days goes by and you don't see any change. That doesn't mean you go and give up, right? In my last video, when things fall apart, I said, you know, when you're going through stuff or when you're not seeing that change, that doesn't mean you give up and you walk away. It means that you go harder. Like, you don't fall apart. You can feel a way about it. You could be like, damn, man, this is not happening fast enough. That's fine. But then you get back to it. You know, you persevere and you exercise patience and know that these things are coming to you. So, I read something in a book about Ori recently that talked about how sometimes, you know, people would look at someone's situation and say, man, they must not be doing their ebo. Look at how hard their life is. And the book said, no, that's not the case. It's not always that the person is skipping ebo or breaking their taboos or anything like that. Sometimes we didn't sign up for certain things when our Ori was choosing our destiny. So someone may have chosen to make a lot of money, but did not include, you know, a spouse and children. And then when the person gets to earth, they're like, damn, I have everything I need in terms of financial abundance, but I don't have my spouse and my child. This is where consistency, perseverance, and patience comes in, because this condition can be changed, but it will be tedious. It'll be a lot of work. So I feel like what's happening is a lot of us are coming here and we're just like, oh my goodness, you know, why am I not getting these things that I desire? And it's simply because we did not sign up for that in heaven, right? We didn't sign up for those things. And when we get here, we're just like, damn. But that's why it takes perseverance. So if after 16 days you don't see it, do it another 16 days. I told you, I'm doing this. I might do this for the rest of my life, every day as part of my prayers, because I really feel like we have the power to manifest things. But I also know that some of us, and you can tell by your personal situation, some of us don't have it that easy, right? And certain things don't come to us that easy. And those are the things we have to be very serious about going after. Okay, Kim, so what I mean by an Odu verse that speaks to your experience, I'm not talking about an Odu that was pulled for you. So, for instance, the Odu for my hand of Ifa is Oshe Osa, right? I know verses from that Odu, but, you know, that, of course, that could help me because that's the Odu that came down with my hand. But there are other things that I noticed just from reading, right? Just from reading Odu verses, and I'll read something and it'll be like, you know, it talks about a woman who doesn't have children yet. And she really wants children. And she goes crying to Ifa, and, you know, the Babalawo tells her to do something, and then she does it, and the children come. So, I want children. Okay, I'll look at that verse, and although that's not a verse from one of the Odus that came down for me in my initiations, it'll be like, okay, well, I'm going to recite this verse because it has something to do with that desire, that thing that I want, right? So it's something like that, like just kind of looking, doing your research and finding verses that you feel like are aligned with that. Ray, you're absolutely right. Like I was saying, being in the tradition, I feel like when I first came in, I had this misconception that a bow worked automatically. And if your reading said that you would have the array of, you know, wealth or prosperity, right? I thought, okay, if it said that, then within those 17 days of receiving my reading, then I should see that prosperity, right? Or at least in the next 17 months, you know, the next year. And it doesn't work like that. There's sometimes you'll have something come up in your reading and you will not see it manifest for years. So it takes a lot of patience to be a part of this tradition, but more so than patience, it takes hopefulness. Like, you have to be hopeful, because sometimes you're gonna feel like, damn, my Baba said that I had money coming to me. My Baba said that I would be famous. My Baba said my spouse was coming. My Baba sees children in all of my readings. Where are these things? That's where this patience and this hopefulness comes in. And that's why we want to use all of the tools available to us. So we'll also use the ashe of our mouths. We'll do our ebo, our offering, our readings regularly, our oshes. Like, you got to give everything, and know that eventually everything that was said to you is going to come to pass. It's not easy though. I need people to understand that. Right. Jose, so you understand what I'm talking about. I'm one of those people too. There's certain areas now where I see things come a little bit easier than they did in the past. But for the most part, like, my life, like, I've had to fight for shit. Like, I got to struggle for it. I watch other people, certain things just come to them. I'm like, man, must be nice. You know, a sister got to get out here and do it on her own. So I understand what you're saying, and you chose the right verse for your situation. The verse I chose talks about Otuda Ogbe. One of the verses says, everything depends on my Ori, right? So if I want riches, if I want a good home, if I want a good spouse, if I want children, you know, if I want victory over enemies, everything that I want depends on my Ori. That's it. Right? So that's what I'm reciting every day, to remind myself and to call on my Ori, like, hello, Ori. We need things, you know. Your sister, we here, and I need stuff. You know, I need stuff to help me feel like I'm living the most fulfilling life that I came to live. So that's who I'm calling on. Is there anyone else who wants to share about their Odu verse? Thank you, Jose. So you understand the verse that you're talking about, you're calling on the energy of patience, right? It's really good to work with Obatala on patience and Orumila. I feel like those are like the two, for me, I see them as like some of the most pious Orisha, right? The most patient, persevering, and humble. And that's the energy you kind of want to pull on, right? I also saw that some people are doing temperament, right? Focusing on their temperament. I had a couple of people that say, you know, anger, bother, you know, really is something they struggle with, impatience and things like that. Kudos to the people who are looking at their character and saying, this is unacceptable, I need to change this. So we have people who are participating in this challenge who are focusing specifically on their temperament. I share your trouble, okay? Because I'm doing a lot better than I have in the past, but say I'm in a group of very compatible people, oh, I do great. You know, because we all chilling, we all the same, we all think the same and enjoy each other's company, and there's no beef. But put me around some abrasive, rude people, oh honey, the fire that comes up in me. Who you talking to? What did you just say to me? And then we got a problem. So kudos to those of you who are doing temperament. That's something that I'm focusing on every day as well. Part of my prayer when I hold my head is I ask my Ori to support me in walking with Ori Tutu, a cool head, Iwa Rere, and Iwa Pele, good and gentle character. I need it all. And I need all the help I could get. God help me. So if I haven't done Ebo yet, will that mess with the process of this challenge? That's a good question. I don't know. But I feel like you have to come at this from all angles. So I would just do it just because Ebo is like, you know, a sacrifice to these different deities that request it. But when you're, you know, you could do the challenge and maybe just direct it to your Ori, right? Try that. But I can't answer that for certain. I don't know. Right. KJ, a Babalawo just passed a message this week about our tradition. Our work is not about believing. Our faith is about constant work and knowing. It really is, right? It's not, for people who've been doing this for a while, it's not easy and it's not a quick fix, right? There's only been one time, and I wanted to share this with you guys. There's only been once in my entire history of getting readings where something came down, right? Where the Baba said, oh, you're going to have the array of money. And it actually happened quick. The first and only time in my entire, practice. And what I noticed that was different in this period was that this Baba had me do a lot of my own offerings. Whereas, if you work with some other Babas, or Iyas, they might do the work themselves, right? Do a blood offering to different Orisha and things like that. But this Baba was just like, look, go give this fruit to Oshun, or go give this cake to Oshun, go give her champagne, take this out into the woods. And when I did that, I noticed the money. I got $1,000 check right after that. That's the only time that's happened though. And I'm hoping that moving forward, that's one of the things I'm praying about. I want to start seeing results quicker, right? And not every result is going to be like that, but I certainly can have more than one, story like that. Anybody else want to share about their verse? I'm not going to hold y'all long because I told y'all this is my bedtime, so I got to get into my bed clothes, honey. I'm not used to sitting up here with clothes on at this time. It's either I'm going out or I'm laying down. That's it. Were there any questions that I missed? Yeah, Jose, that's something that I noticed. That I thought about the situation and compared it to, and I'll do a video on this. It's like my American Babalawo and my Nigerian Babalawo have very different styles. And the one that I saw work instantly was the one presented by the American Babalawo. And it was stuff like, it wasn't like a cock to Ogun. It wasn't an animal or anything like that. It was no blood. It was just like basic stuff like flowers and fruit and cake. And I never forgot that. I was like, man, maybe it's something about doing things with my own two hands. Maybe it's something about my own prayers that bring forth these blessings, right? And these manifestations. Anybody else? Alvin. So the one that comes to mind for me is a song, and it's called Orieni Laude O Orieni Laude, and it's talking about how Ori is your charm to all success in life. Like there's nothing else, no other deity that's gonna rock with you. I was gonna say the F word. That's gonna rock with you the way that your Ori rocks with you. Like there's no other way. I think the Where to Start video has an Ori prayer as well if you want. I think it's right in the description box. Thank you, Ray. No problem. My Ori led me to share this information with you, and that's why I do it. And I don't even like being on camera. Ain't that crazy? I'll be like, I don't want to be on camera. I got to get on camera. But my Ori is guiding me, so I just try to go where it tells me to go. What do you mean, Jose, by should we do offerings to those Orishas that are part of our Ori? What do you, so for me, Oya is the owner of my head. I have to give offering to Oya. If I don't, she gonna come through and give me a hard time. I don't want Iya to give me a hard time. You don't want Oya giving you a hard time. So is that what you mean? Like those, the Orisha that are on your head, that basically own your head or walk with you? Guys, you can ask a couple of more basic questions if you want before we close. We'll go to the 30-minute mark, so that's about 5 more minutes. That's a good one. Yeah, besides your elbow, that takes, and that's what I was talking about at the beginning of the video, goddess. Prayer, following taboos. Like, if you know what your taboos are, that's very, very important, because I feel like negative spirits can kind of feed off of us when we're not doing the right things, when our temperament or our character is unbalanced, right? When we're drinking and doing things, you know, just like doing things out of habit, like negative habits and things like that. So it takes a lot of work. Those are some of my suggestions. Kim, you know who your Orisha is usually through a reading. So a Babalawo or Iyanifa can tell you that. I was told that my Orisha was Oshun. And then when I got to Nigeria, I found out that it was actually Oya. So I think Oshun carried me and handed me off to Oya. Ashe, no problem. Those are just some of the ideas I have. Use your, goddess, use your intuition. Because I think sometimes we, especially when you get so into the tradition, right, and the practices of the tradition, and we can get very set on these ritual practices, but our head will give us ideas on what to do as well. KJ, I got my Odus from divination through my Luo, Babalawo, Iyanifa, stuff like that. I feel like when I go for Ifa initiation, I might have an idea of what my Ifa Odu is, just because my intuitive sense is expanding at this time. That's a good question, Alvin. You know what? When you talk about how do you connect with your ancestors properly, one time I sat in front of Eshu, and this is in the beginning, I was so confused because everyone had a different opinion about what the proper path was, right? And what you had to do for your work to be effective. Everyone had a different idea. So I went to Eshu, and I guess I was meditating, and I was like, Eshu, what's the right path, right? Like, what's the right procedure? And Eshu said, no lie, what I heard, you know, inaudibly, was there are many paths, right? So I want you to figure out for yourself, through meditation, through quiet time, what is your correct way to connect with the ancestors properly. I had a dance party the other day and was like, this is an ancestor party. I just played old school music that I knew my ancestors loved and danced to it and invited them to come and dance with me. My honorable ancestors come and dance with me. It could sound crazy. I don't care. I do a lot of crazy stuff, honey. Whatever. You know, but that's something that came to me. My Ori probably was like, you like to dance. You think your ancestors didn't like to dance too? Like, you know, let's get it. Let's have a party. Python, one of the offerings, one of the basic offerings is cool water. You can take cool water and, you know, put it on your head every day and say, Iba Ori. Iba is like, I pay homage to you, Ori. Thank you, Ori. You know, guide me, protect me, Ori. You can put coconut water on your head. Shea butter. If you know how to cast kola nut, you can cast kola nut to your own head. And if you don't know how to do that, that's okay. Those are just some of the basic ones for now. Kim, do we have to initiate in order to be into Ifa? No, you can study. You know, you can research Odu. You can just get readings and not be initiated. This is not you know, this kind of initiation and priest and priestess path is not for everyone, and that's okay. Like, you can be a follower of Ifa, a student of Ifa, but not commit to it fully. And you can still connect in your own way, I'm sure. And I know there's some people who don't agree with that, but that's my opinion, right? And that's fine. All right, guys, we at the 30-minute mark. It's bedtime. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, the 16-day challenge, you guys can do it whenever you want. All you have to do is, I don't know if you have books with Odu verses. If you want to go online, you can check my website, daydreamaustin.com, for the resource page, and you'll see some links there where you can probably locate some Odu verses. Find one that speaks to you, whether or not it's about your situation. If something stands out to you, incorporate it into your daily prayers. Do it for 16 days. If you have Ifa, do it in front of Ifa. If you have Orisha, do it in front of Orisha. Do it in front of your Egungun. Hold your own head. That's what I'm doing. I'm not bypassing my Ori no more, because my Ori got everything I need, right? So do it however you feel, you see fit. And if you need to go longer than 16 days, you do it longer than 16. If you need to go out to 40, 50, 60, 100 days, if you want to do 2 years, you do whatever you need to do to call in all that good that is waiting for you. Okay? Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.